It's Wednesday, May 22nd, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable Today, we highlight 2 town events scheduled for this Thursday, a reminder of new pickup and drop-offs if you're headed to the islands this weekend, and a groundbreaking for the Field of Reality at Barnstable High School. Now for a look at municipal and legislative news. Don't wait until you're headed to the beach this weekend. Get your beach sticker today. The Barnstable Recreation Division's 2019 beach parking permits walk-up sales are underway at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 4 p.m., and Sundays and holidays, 9 a.m. to noon. For more information is available on the town website or by calling 508-790-6345. The town of Barnstable, with the Cape Cod Commission and Wacoit Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve, are hosting a community event this Thursday, May 23rd, to explore strategies to reduce vulnerability to natural hazards in threatened areas of our community. You are invited to join them for this interactive session where attendees will have the opportunity to be the first to test out a new regional tool and conversation catalyst, the Cape Cod Coastal Planner, developed by the Cape Cod Commission and partners. What does a resilient Cape Cod look like? Climate change and the effects of it are all around us. With me today, Director of Planning, Elizabeth Jenkins, and Jen Clinton. You have a brand new tool from the Cape Cod Commission, and we have an event that's going to unveil this and really have people understand the issue and maybe how we can solve it all together. So I'm going to start with you, Jen. You've not been on our show before. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do with the Cape Cod Commission.
Hi, so my name's Jen Clinton. I'm a special projects coordinator with the Commission. A lot of my work focuses on balancing the environment and the economy in planning in an economic development context. And this project in particular was sort of a culmination of all these things where we're looking at how do we build coastal resiliency for Cape Cod towns, and what are the adaptation strategies available for these communities to decide what works for them.
Right, and Elizabeth, we have an event on Thursday that really is going to take this to the next level.
We are. So we've been very excited to partner with the Commission on developing this project, doing the sort of participating in the research component over the past 2 years. So Barnstable actually participated as a pilot community in this project. So we're going to be sort of test driving this new tool that the Commission has, the Cape Cod Coastal Planner, with a group of folks who are interested in coming and learning a little bit more about our specific coastal resilience issues here in Barnstable, the regional topic as a whole, and being kind of guinea pigs for this project. So it is on Thursday here at Town Hall, 4:30. We'll provide dinner, so it'll be just a great time to sort of get together with others who are interested in the topic of coastal resiliency, have a nice meal together, learn a little bit more about regional leaders on the project, and potential solutions about how to move forward.
Right. And Jen, talk a little bit about this new tool. We had touched upon it in previous interviews, but this is going to be something that's a game changer.
I hope so.
Right.
So this was developed over the course of 3 years. It had a lot of participation regionally from a broad range of stakeholders. And this was part of a NOAA Coastal Resilience Grant that we were awarded in 2016. This is sort of a culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. And what we're hoping to do is show people what the coastal resiliency issues are, and then once we look at what the issues are in different locations, what are your adaptation strategies focusing on erosion, sea level rise, and storm surge. Thank you. Extreme storms are a serious problem on the Cape, so we want to understand what the extent of these issues are, and then how can we sort of come up with community-based solutions for those.
All right, and let's talk a little bit. Barnstable is a pilot community. Is that because we have lots of coastal issues, or is it because we're the hub of the Cape, or is it a combination of multiples of those?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a lot of partnerships with the Commission and Wacoit Bay NERS down there, and it was sort of building off of projects that we were working around education and awareness in climate change. And we all have coastal issues, certainly. We all have coastal issues anywhere in town. I think that's why this tool is really great, because if you're, regardless of your awareness, I mean, even if you're a practitioner or someone who works in the field, or if you're just a resident, it's a great sort of clearinghouse of resources, both about our vulnerability as a coastal community, and then again, sort of different ways and approaches to dealing sort of physically with these issues that we have. So.
Right. And talk a little bit about, I don't think a lot of people understand the connection between coastal resiliency and economic development.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, which is important. I mean, certainly we've been here a lot, and I know you've talked to the chamber as well about issues of our blue economy, this idea that so much of our economy, whether it's our tourist economy, our commercial fishers and shellfishers, or really just our real estate. People come here for the water because they love it, because they want to be connected to it, either sort of economically or just intrinsically. So thinking about the relationship between real estate and land and water and the science behind it and how that's changing is important as we look forward. We've seen with some of the research that the Commission does, the quality of our water impacts property values. It certainly impacts the type of businesses, again, how we manage our shorelines, the type of investments we make in our marine facilities here, the ability for people to make a living on the water. So we feel like the work that we do in planning and development to sort of do this coastal resiliency planning is a big part of our mission, which is to promote good economic development in the town of Barnstable.
When we come back to the Commission, you've got a pilot town, largest town on the Cape right now. What do you hope to get from this tool as towns start to actually use this? Is there a specific outcome that you're looking for, or is it mostly just awareness?
I would say there's two components. So one of the reasons that the town of Barnstable was an ideal pilot is that they're doing so much work with the municipal vulnerability program at the state level. So we're sort of building off of the existing planning that's been taking place and the discussions going on coastal resiliency. But in terms of outcomes, we are really trying to sort of communicate what these issues are, what the vulnerability is along the coast, but also what the trade-offs are. So when you decide one particular solution or another might work for you, there's always inherent trade-offs in that. And so what are they? What are the concerns around that? And then how can we move forward as a town?
Excellent. And Elizabeth, what do you hope people get from Thursday night's meeting?
Yeah, so I think again we would love to sort of people to come who are interested in coastal resiliency and start to become ambassadors for this tool. Again, it's such a wealth of information that can be communicated to people on all levels. Really to come and get familiar with it. Again, if you're part of an organization that's dealing with these coastal resiliency issues, sort of come take it, learn about it, be a part of this conversation. Or if you're just a resident who are maybe dealing with coastal resiliency issues on your own and want to get an idea of all right, how is it going to look for our place, for our community, if we choose to not respond, or if we choose to sort of take big and creative approaches to resiliency and start to get an idea of that, and again, these sort of issues and solutions to being a part of a coastal community.
Right. Do they need to register?
They do, yep.
Okay.
There's a registration link that's on the Planning and Development website. I know it also went out in this week's e-news, so you can look for that as well.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to it. Thursday, the 23rd, 4:30 p.m. Dinner will be served with a side of coastal resiliency. Barnstable High School students and area veterans and families will come together to share perspectives and stories at the Intergenerational Memorial Day breakfast this Thursday, May 23rd at the Senior Center. Hard to believe we're talking about Memorial Day again, and a really nice event at the Barnstable Senior Center, the Intergenerational Memorial Day breakfast for our veterans here in the community. With me today, Susan from the Barnstable Senior Center. This is one of the most lovely events that you do out of the whole year.
It is. It's very touching. It's very moving, and we're honored to be able to do this at the Senior Center.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the event. You can tell me the very long name because I shortened it a bit.
Yes. It's the Intergenerational Memorial Day Breakfast honoring veterans.
Okay.
And we do this in collaboration with Veteran Services as well as the Barnstable High School.
So the Barnstable High School is there, so students come to
Yes.
this breakfast?
Yes, so what we do is students arrive, we pair them up as much as we can with veterans, and they have a conversation back and forth and learn about the experience right from the person that was actually there. So it's a wonderful opportunity for students to know what it was like to be in the service and in a war or conflict.
Right, and a lot of these veterans at the senior center come from some of the older wars, or the great wars that we call them.
Well, sadly, we have less and less of our World War II veterans. So we have a couple of them that are still participating, which is wonderful. It's such an honor to have them there. And right now we have some from the Korean War conflict. We don't really get too many from Vietnam or Desert Storm yet, but there's a few coming in here and there. Yeah, so it's wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity for the students, and it's also wonderful for the veterans to be able to share their experience.
Right. So walk us through the event a little bit. They come in, they get paired up with a student. Breakfast, is it free open, or is there a program?
Yes, we do have a program. They come in. There's Scott Dutra from Veteran Services will do an introductory opening. Madeline welcomes everyone. Madeline, our director, welcomes everyone to the breakfast and thanks everyone for their service. And welcomes the students, of course, and family members come as well. So it's really wonderful. Then everyone gets up and has their coffee and their little breakfast, and they chat for probably a good half an hour. It's really amazing. And then we give veterans or the students an opportunity to get up and speak, and some do, some don't. So it's certainly open to whoever is interested in offering their thoughts, opinions, and experience with the entire crowd. Right. Then we have a honor guard, and we raise the flag and take down the flag, and we put in our new one for next year.
Oh, I didn't realize that you actually change out your flag.
We do change out our flag that day. Yes, yes.
That's a great tradition.
It is a great tradition, and everyone goes out around the flag, and it's wonderful. In the past, we've had some students from the middle school that have come and sang, but they were not able this year, so we'll miss them.
Let's hope the weather holds.
Exactly, yes.
And this is, it's not something new. You've done this for a few years?
Many, many years. I've been at the Senior Center for just about 11 years, and they've been doing it for much longer than that. So, and of course, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, so I'm sure it's been going on for 20 years.
What do the veterans get out of this? Do they enjoy talking to the students about their experience?
They do. They really do. Many that have come previous years are certainly familiar with it, but it's a wonderful opportunity for them to share their experience with the younger generation, and also their camaraderie with their fellow veterans, and just to have a little breakfast and enjoy a morning at the Senior Center.
And this is a public event, so
yes,
people
all
can
are
register
welcome.
to do this?
Yes, they can. Yes. There's a couple ways they can register. They can register on the town website and go to Senior Services. They can call to the Senior Center, that's 508-862-4750, or they can go online.
What a wonderful, wonderful way to honor our veterans, obviously, and I love the tradition of changing out your flag. That must mean a lot to them.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And then it ends with taps. So it's a very moving and emotional, wonderful experience all around for everyone.
Thank you for coming in and telling us about it.
You're very welcome.
Change has come to Ocean Street parking and ferry pickups and drop-offs. Liz Hartsgrove, Assistant Director of Planning and Development, joins us in studio with the latest on the new changes to ferry pickups. Public safety is paramount here in the town of Barnstable, and especially when our visitors are here. Down on Ocean Street, there is an enormous amount of traffic, foot and vehicle. With me today, Assistant Director of Planning, Liz Hartsgrove. Liz, we've got some new safety signage down there, some new ways to park and pick up people. Yeah. But let's go back and why?
So back in July of last year, we noticed a massive influx of different types of categories of transportation. So the rideshare actually particularly is really increased. And then also there's a new shuttle service down there at Hyannis Harbor that also was new last year that has created more traffic volume. And we needed to reflect and react to that and plan accordingly. So we've made improvements. The team of police and DPW, engineering, even highway and structures and grounds, parking management, planning and development, arts and culture, MEA, we all have been working together to create a nice public safety improvement to the area. And so then we went before town council and asked for funding. And so this is phase 1 of the improvements, and it begins on the 17th, so a week from today, on Friday the 17th. And this is to make sure that there are designated areas for these modes of different transportation. So it's easier, it's more organized, that passengers and pedestrians, regardless of where their destinations are, can identify really clearly these locations of where they are to pick up their other forms of transportation. Okay. So that's what it is in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, and one of the things that we noticed is last year you had made some parking improvements where people could park and wait.
Yeah.
Where this year really it's all about pedestrian and how they're moving through there and picking up their next mode of transportation from the ferries.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first one that's been there for a very long time, the taxi and livery. Where are they going this year?
Sure, so we are shifting actually. So you would be surprised that they don't show up about 5 minutes before the ferry or 2 minutes before the ferry. They show up sometimes 15, 20 minutes prior to the ferry, and they sit and they then start building and multiplying, and then there's no room for them. So if they want to come early, what we've created is a designated waiting area along Nantucket Street. So that way our property can remain fluid with other modes of transportation and people actually parking for longer term than just 15 minutes. That's really the purpose of the original purpose of the Bismore Park South Lot is to start supporting the businesses along Ocean Street as well as the artist shanties and people who want to stop and walk around the area. So it wasn't meant for supporting a 15-minute short-term, really short-term use. So we've designated those, the taxi, livery, rideshare, and cell waiting. So that's even the general public. If they come and they're waiting for their loved ones to come off the ferry, then they can go wait on Nantucket Street, and we're going to have these beautiful, very prominent signs that are very friendly and easy to understand where those locations are that they should be waiting. And then when the boat arrives, then if their passengers need assistance, they can go over to the Highline property and pick up their passengers on the Highline property. However, if their passengers don't need assistance, we've made the crosswalks a lot more visible, and we've actually added more signage to identify where the pedestrians can go and keep on the sidewalk to get to their rides that they are making connections with.
Right. And rideshare has increased exponentially over the last few years.
Yeah.
We had some discussions on this when some of the legislation came in to regulate them here in the Massachusetts. But cell phone lots have also really kind of come into their own at airports. So this should not be really anything different than something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Barnstable, and it's predominantly Hyannis, is almost, it's a city. Everyone says that, that we're a city but with a small town feel. Right. And we should be organized like that too, because we have a really mass increase. Like you said, we're a year-round community, but with a seasonal bump. Right. So that seasonal bump makes a huge impact on us, and we need to make sure that we're organized for everybody's public safety purposes.
Right. And our favorite shuttle drivers.
Yes.
My husband has just gone over to Highline. Yes. So where's he going to park?
Yes, so they're going to actually have identified locations that DPW actually changed the lines this morning. So we have a designated area for passenger pickup and drop off at the what we call Greeter Island. In the south lot of Bismore Park, there is a traffic island, and we've made it pretty and made it look very beachy, so it's called an island. And so we've created signs for those locations so passengers can know where that the trolley or the shuttle can pick them up. And that area also is used for large capacity vehicles. So school buses, yesterday 2 school buses were picking up from boats that were coming off of Nantucket, and they were waiting in the actual parking lot. Well, now they'll have an area that they can wait along Ocean Street, and if they're there 20 minutes early, which they were yesterday, they can wait up on Old Colony, and that also will have very clear friendly signs to identify where they can wait patiently and then access down to Nantucket Street and pull into that that unloading and loading zone for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it all comes back to public safety. This isn't, arbitrary rules of where to go because we think that it's, a fun thing to do to make new signage.
Right, exactly. Yes.
As cute as it is.
I know.
But one of the things that we really want people to understand about this is that there is a public safety issue with the enormous amount of foot traffic that comes off those ferries.
Yeah, the boats hold about 500 people or more. So when you have 500 people coming off a boat and then you have 500 people going on a boat, you've got 1,000 people at any given time. And then when you have 2 ferries arriving within a window of time, the same window of time, you could be generating 2,000, not let alone what's the operations of the harbor and anything else that's happening, special events or whatever. So yeah, it's a big deal, and we want to make sure everybody has a really wonderful, just fluid experience with this, and keeping everybody organized is the way to do it.
Right. Yeah. And I know that you had gone out to Barnstable Police Department or going to get delivery drivers and some of the other folks that are part of the transportation system here in the town to become familiar with this before it goes into effect.
Yeah, so we've already done some outreach with them, handing out flyers at Bismore. The Gateway Greeters and the pros have already started initiating that communication, and even when I was down there yesterday with DPW going over the line painting stuff, we even made contacts with the bus drivers and limos and things, and we were just communicating that, hey, by the way, heads up, this is now going to be, you're not going to be in here, you're going to be waiting on Old Colony, or you can utilize this space for your passengers. And it was very receptive. It was really favorable. They understood the reason why, and they were like, yeah, actually, it's about time that we're doing something about it. So that was really positive to hear that.
Right. And where can people find that map? Do we have it on our website?
We do. It is on the website. It is on Facebook. It is on our Instagram page. And if they need an actual handout, it is available at the Welcome Center down at Bismore. But you can always print it out online too.
Excellent. So we're going to park and wait happy.
That's correct, yes. And this is just phase 1, so we're going to continue rolling out all of these things that we went before council and back in March for.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Liz.
Thank you, Paula.
The Barnstable High School ball fields have long needed an upgrade. Plans were shelved several years ago and now have found new life. The Field of Dreams will become the Fields of Reality. Channel 18 was on the baseball field for the groundbreaking to kick off the construction of the new athletic field complex.
Sun always shines on a field of dreams, right? Excellent day and a big day for all the children who will have an opportunity to really enjoy this field and bring it to its fullest for the community. A field like this isn't just about those who get to play on it, it's about all of us who get to see our families grow and enjoy the community at work and at play. It's always an effort of all of us to get together after it's been vetted properly by the school committee and by the needs of the schools. And this is just one of those things that occasionally debt gets retired, other opportunities become available, and sooner or later a field of dreams is a field of reality.
Field of Dreams, now a field of reality. That line from Town Councilor Jim Crocker is just resonating through the day. What does this mean to Division I sports here at Barnstable High?
Well, it's a tremendous day for BHS because we know that we have a plan in place, and that plan is now going into actions that will result in a real top-notch facility for our students. And I think for our student athletes, it means they can be real proud of their home school. And for the community, it means we're going to have a space where people are going to come out and come support their athletes and help build the sense of community that has always been so strong in the town of Barnstable. This project is going to help perpetuate that and move that forward. As you look around here, we all do different jobs, whether it's the students here to learn or all of us. If we stay connected and we continue to push, we will deliver what's absolutely the best for Barnstable High School students and for the community at large. So Meg, thank you. Mark, everybody who's been involved, this is an awesome, awesome day.
This is exciting. This doesn't happen by one individual, certainly vision by our school department and our town council, coordination with our superintendent and my office and staff, certainly leadership, certainly community commitment. I'm a strong believer that the way that we present ourselves is the way that we are treated, and I think that's an important lesson. Certainly, I'm here at all these fields a lot. I have 6 kids. They all come through Barnstable school systems. They all play on these fields. I tell it to them. I say it to their friends. I want them all to be proud of what we do in town, whether it's our beaches or our fields or our schools. It doesn't matter if you're in the classroom or on a stage or on a field. I want you to walk out of here being proud. I want you to come back, and I want you to say, I'm glad I came through this system. It's an excellent system. It's the best system that I could have come through, and I want to participate the rest of my life in it. And if we can achieve that, it's much more than just a baseball field or athletics fields. It's that commitment that makes our community great.
The next steps are, we've gotten permission now to begin excavation, so we'll start cleaning the grass and the topsoil off the site, start doing all our grading, and start getting ready to run infrastructure in and get all the pipes and what have you in, and hopefully be ready to start installing the synthetic turf around the August timeframe.
If you build it, they will play.
They certainly will play on a beautiful, beautiful field.
This is really an exciting day. The weather's cooperated. Tell me the sense, this project, 5 years in the making.
At least 5 years in the making. As I said, I became superintendent in the district in 2016, and it had been shelved at that point, some initial design work. So again, just sort of thinking about what is it that we can do to create or support Barnstable High School as the flagship of our community. This is a Division I program. We have more than 800 student athletes participate on these fields between and among the 3 seasons, and they really deserve the best that we can give them. And through a combination of school committee support and town council support and working closely with the town manager, as President Crocker said, the Field of Dreams has become the field of reality.
But I have the student athletes standing behind me today because this is why we do what we do, right? Is to create opportunities for our kids to have fields like this to play on, because we value not only what happens academically in Barnstable Public Schools, but what happens outside of the classroom as well. And I don't think there's anyone here that would deny the fact that our students deserve the very best, and that's what they're getting with our Field of Dreams.
Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you, I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.